right away. But it did this time. Hello there, 5th and 6th grade. This is your science video for today. You're going to be doing work text pages 42 through 44, so let's look at that really quickly. Some of you had already started that this afternoon, I saw on the describing the matter. And so in that chart that you have there, you're going to be describing 3 different things of each states of matter. Actually, it's a 4th state of matter, but we covered that in 6th grade. Does anybody remember what that is? Maybe I should do that and make that the secret word. If you remember from last year, for those of you who were here last year, I have 2 students here watching me, and then one former student from 10 years ago, and she's trying to learn some more things while she's here. But you have that, and then you also have 2 parts of the bottom section on page 42, which says to list the processes that can occur when a substance changes from a solid to a liquid or from a liquid to a solid, and then to list the processes that can occur when a substance changes from a liquid to a gas or a gas to a liquid. And so those are the things you'll be looking for. Now, this study guide is covering from pages 58 to 67. Today you're reading, I'm going to be reading with you 62 to 67. So all of these are going to be, some of them are going to be new from what we're reading today, and some of it's going to be older type of things. So let's go ahead and get started with the reading. So work text page 62. And so I'm sure that my students that are in here are going to be following along as I'm reading work text page 62. And so here we go. Physical properties on 62. It says, when God created matter, he gave it many characteristics. Some of these are called physical properties. A physical property is a characteristic of a substance that can be observed. And I was looking over here to if you look over at, I'm trying to see if that question is in here. Yes, number 8 in your worksheet has that answer right there. A blank is a characteristic of a substance that can be observed without changing the identity of the substance. And so that is the exact answer that we just said there, physical property. The other ones are going to be from previous worksheets that you had already done. Continuing on, some physical properties are easy for us to observe with our senses. The color, texture, and smell of a substance can usually be readily observed. Other properties can be harder to observe. These properties include things like a substance's density or its ability to conduct electricity. Whether easy or hard to observe, these characteristics are all important because they help us distinguish one substance from another. States of matter. Now, if you look at number 9, it's talking about state of matter, whether it's a solid or not, and the other 2 states of matter, which we'll get to. You probably already know what they are, but it says one physical property of matter is whether it is a solid, liquid, or gas. And so there you have that answer to number 9. If you look at these other things, it says identify the characteristics of a states of matter, and so we'll continue on with that and try to catch those as you're going along. It says all matter is composed of tiny particles that are always in motion. These particles attract each other. This attraction tends to hold the particles together. The motion of the tiny particles and the strength of their attraction determines the substance's state of matter. We're going over to page 63, and so we'll start with a solid. A desk, a pencil, and a book are all solids. Solid is the state of matter in which a substance has a definite volume and shape. And so which one talks about a definite volume and shape? And it says letter, which one? Letter what? On your work text. You want to have it? Which one, Elijah? Which one has a definite volume and shape? Yeah, so S for number 10, as Elijah answered there. And so it is, if you put a pencil in a glass, if the pencil stays its own shape, it does not take on the shape of the glass. The particles that make up a solid do vibrate, but they do not move very much. They have a strong attraction to each other. This strong attraction keeps the particles close together and allows solids to keep their shape. Give you an example of a solid as a rock. And if you think of rock as a liquid, you've got issues. Liquid, it says water, juice, and soft drinks are all liquids. Liquid is a state of matter in which a substance has a definite volume but not a definite shape. And so that would be number 11. And so that one is a liquid. Have definite volume but not definite shape. So the liquid takes the shape of the container that it is in. The same amount of liquid can be poured from a thin, tall container into a short, wide container. The liquid's volume stays the same even though the shape of the volume changes. The particles in liquid move more than the particles in solids do, yet the attraction between the particles is still strong enough to keep the matter from completely spreading apart. And then turn over to the next page for gas, and obviously you know which one number 12 is already. Air and a tire and helium in a balloon are examples of gases. Gas is a state of matter in which a substance does not have a definite shape or definite volume. Like liquids, gases take the shape of their containers. But unlike solids or liquids, Gases can also expand to fill the volume of their containers. Gases are also different in that they can be easily compressed. Perhaps you have seen a balloon being filled from a tank of helium gas. The gas in the tank is compressed. Only a small amount of helium gas is released into each balloon, but the gas expands to fill and inflate the balloon. So if you're thinking about being compressed, you're talking about pressing it down into a smaller space. And you can do that with a gas because gas is already separated. The molecules are already separated from one another, so that allows that to happen. Of course, it does take pressure to be able to do that. On the top there on the right says the particles and gases are very active. They have only a weak attraction to each other. Because of this, gas particles spread apart until they meet a barrier that contains them, like a balloon. Look at the fantastic facts. The fantastic facts. It says we often talk about the 3 states of matter, but most of the matter in the universe is made up of a 4th type. Oh, we do have it in this book. Look at that. And that 4th type is called plasma. Plasma occurs only at very high temperatures, such as those found on the sun. On the Earth, plasma naturally occurs in a lightning bolt. Man-made plasma causes a fluorescent light to shine. Some scientists think plasma may have great potential as a future energy source. And so plasma is your secret word. So if you want to write that down now, you can do that. And then we will continue on here to the next page, 65. Changing